On today's video, let's talk about building priorities in the early game. In this video, we'll go over which buildings you should be prioritizing in what order and 5 buildings you should think of as your secondary queue while you're working on your main objectives. In this video, we'll explain what your main objectives should be when building, what your secondary objectives should be, a list of 5 of them, as well as understanding exactly why you're doing this so you maximize your efficiency. You ensure that during your downtime, you're still gaining power and troops in game, as well as being able to take whatever hit comes at you overnight. So if you're new to this game, you're in the early stages of the game, or building a new account and trying to figure out how to do this the best possible way, here's a list for you guys. Sit back, drop a like on the video. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Today we are on the 307 account, which is in City Hall 12 right now. And it reached an interesting part of the game that I figured most people don't really understand, which is what do you do with a secondary building queue? Before we start though, I am a sponsored content creator by Rise of Kingdoms. If you enjoy the content, make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Did you know 56.5% of you are not subscribed to the channel? What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. So before we go into secondary priorities, in Rise of Kingdoms, your building that's a top priority, your number 1 building is your City Hall. City Hall is the one you're always going to want to level up. So long as it's not level 25, you should be doing everything you need to do to keep leveling it up. The reason for that is because, first of all, every other building's max level depends on City Hall. So if I don't level this up beyond level 12, nothing else can go up beyond level 12. And on top of that, the City Hall's levels also ensure that you're able to send more troops per march, a substantial amount more troops. And every few levels, you'll be able to get a new dispatch queue for your troops. So if you're under City Hall 4, you can only send 1. Once you hit City Hall 5, you can send 2. City Hall 11, you can send 3. City Hall 17, you can send 4. And 22, you can send 5. The dispatch queues are crucial for everything in the game. Gathering, warring, barbarian hunting, everything depends on how many troops you can send. So your City Hall is number 1 priority always. Now, as you build your City Hall, you're going to get to a situation where you have multiple buildings that you need to level up in order to level up your City Hall. But some of these, like the wall for example, take a long time. And more often than not, unless you're speeding buildings up, you're going to end up finding yourself with a spare building queue. Once you hit VIP 16 in Rise of Kingdoms, you unlock a second building queue. And before you hit VIP 16, you have a ability to recruit builders, activate for 2 days these scrolls that give you a secondary building queue, and I believe you get 4 of them in the early game, so you'll be able to, for 8 days in the beginning, get 2 builders going to crank up the speed. Once you hit VIP 6, not 6, VIP 6, you're golden. You get them permanently. And what do you do with the second march is important, because there are multiple approaches to how you can utilize it to maximize your efficiency. If you join our Discord, linked in the description below, you can find the order of buildings that you need in order to level up your City Hall in the info archive. And from there, you can decide either you're going to work on the next buildings to level up your City Hall quicker, which is also a very, very good approach to just keep pushing the City Hall. But if you're looking to be a little bit more well-rounded and ensure that you're working on all facets of the game, not only the building of the City Hall, there are 5 buildings you should consider to level up to ensure you're making a better use of your account. The fifth building priority would be your trading hall. Now, your trading post and quite frankly, your secondary hospitals kind of come with at the same cost, and I'll explain why. Your trading post's top priority is to be able to send more resources out for much cheaper taxes. The reason you want trading post is that without having a trading post, which you can only get at City Hall 10, you cannot be sent resources. But as an alliance mate, as a team player, you want to help your alliance mates through war, through every possible need of theirs, as well as potentially trade. If you are gathering strictly food and someone else is gathering strictly wood, you guys can trade, so forth and so on. Trading building, very important in general for you to be a better teammate, and this can put you in a very good place in your alliance as an alliance mate that sends resources. The slash in this level is either your trading post or your hospital. Now, hospital is a building that you do need to level up your city hall. However, you only need to level up one hospital, and the game will give you a total of 4. The reason you should consider leveling up your secondary, tertiary, and 4th hospital is because they will also increase the amount of hospital capacity you can have. Right now I can have 19,950 troops because this building only gives me 3,000, while this building gives me quite a bit more at level 11. Now, truthfully, leveling up hospital to level 6 shouldn't take you more than a few moments, especially if you're in an alliance where you can get helps. And you'll easily stick another 5,000 troops into the hospital, which means you can sustain more damage while warring or while getting hit. You should consider working on your secondary, tertiary, and 4th hospitals, especially in the later part of the game where you're in city halls between 20, 21, all the way to 25, when things start taking a long time to level up. This is when you want to really start working on these side buildings to ensure you're getting more bang out of your buck. When it comes to the hospital, it'll just save you from losing troops. Very important building. The next building I would say is a priority is your academy. Academy goes kind of hand to hand with the city hall. It has a few parts in city hall where you need to level up your academy to continue, but nothing really makes you level up your academy throughout time. As you can see, I'm city hall 12 and academy is only level 9. This can be a huge problem because once I start doing more researches, I can reach a level in which I cannot do any more researches because my city hall needs to be leveled up. And I do have the ability to do it, but because it's not required, I'll end up getting stuck not able to do researches because I'm building the academy, and as a result, it'll just slow my progress down. So anytime that I see that I have the ability to level up my academy to be able to do more researches, that's a good time to do it. Don't get stuck without researches available. It's a waste of your time, and you really want to make sure that those things are ticking correctly ahead of time. The same thing can be said about our next set of buildings of priority. We said in number 5, these two buildings right here, the trading post and the side hospitals. In number 4 comes your academy. At number 3, I would put your trading buildings. Your trading buildings are super important. The reason it's important to level up your training buildings is because the higher the level your training building is, the more troops you can train at a time, which means the longer you can stay without having to get in game to train troops. Right now, to maximize the efficiency of this account, I need to come in every 57 minutes, and 42 seconds to claim these troops and rebuild them. Quite frankly, I'm not going to retrain overnight, wake up every 57 seconds. So when I go to sleep, after 57 seconds, every single moment after that is wasted time where I'm not training troops. So you should consider leveling up the buildings, the training buildings, to get yourself to a point where you can train a good amount of troops without having to log in every hour. The more you level it up, the more time you have, and in general, it just makes things much more comfortable as well as much more efficient. So you're not wasting time while you have downtime, such as sleep, work, meetings, whatever it is that makes you stop playing the game. So the trading buildings are very important, but as part of the training buildings, you're gonna have to also level up your resource production buildings because they are required to level up your training buildings. And these kind of come in second place on our list. When you are newer to the game and you don't have 5 troop queue dispatches, you're gonna reach a point where resources are a real pain in the butt. In the beginning, speed ups are abundant, but resources aren't. Then resources are abundant, but speed ups aren't. And then again, speed ups are abundant, but resources aren't. Or backwards. I don't remember the exact order of this. But the bottom line is what will consistently produce resources all the time are your resource production buildings. They are crucial for you to get a good amount of resources. And I've been told more than once that I'm stupid for not leveling up my buildings in my big account to 25. It'll probably happen sooner rather than later. But at least up until level 24, you should be able to continually work on these to get daily resources. In the early game, you'll get to a point where these will really save your butt and not make you open resource tiles from your bag to be able to continue to progress. And at number 1, quite frankly, this building is a little bit underrated, but it will give you free time. I think that one of the most important buildings out there is none other than the Alliance Center. Every time, as you can see, the Alliance Center is one of the buildings that I have leveled up at the highest of levels. And the reason for that is because with every level, you get another time that you can be helped by your alliance mates. This means that every time they click help, you get free time. That's right, every help lowers the amount of time you need to wait for buildings as well as for researches. So you really don't want to have a possibility where, you know, your City Hall 12 or 10 or whatever it is, and you can only take 6 helps to continue to progress your buildings. The more helps you get, the more buildings you'll be able to even finish for free. For example, if I were to right now go join an alliance, which I'm waiting to join one, and level up my hospital, I can pretty much get to hospital probably level 8, if not 9, for free really quickly by just having my alliance mates press help, and that will pretty much bring me up a good amount of hospital capacity. Making it to hospital level 8, for example, is 7,000 more troops. Multiply that by 3 to 3 buildings, 21,000 troops can go into the hospital for free just by simply having helps. So the number 1 priority, as far as I can see, is your alliance building. Now, this also allows you to get more reinforcements. For that, I need to be in an alliance, but the higher your alliance center is, the more your alliance mates can reinforce you, which means the more they can help you from potentially taking a big boy hit in case you're getting hit while asleep or there's a war or anything along the way. Now, ignore Venom. That poor guy is getting destroyed with every possible negative title out there. Kingdom 307 definitely enjoyed doing that. But for now, what I can tell you is, as far as I'm concerned, I went and trained, first of all, did my alliance center so that then I could get more helps and do more of these buildings quicker. Of course, your number 1 priority is City Hall and everything that comes along the way of building your City Hall. But if you have a spare building queue, consider working on these as followed. Get your alliance center as high as you can so you can get more helps from your alliance mates to get more time for free. Get your trading buildings up and about so you can get more troops while you're asleep, and during your downtime, you can get as much training as possible without having to be in game. The third possible recommendation is your academy, and then from there, your hospitals, trading center, and of course, along the way, you can sprinkle around a little bit of buildings of your resource production and things like that. In general, once you hit your alliance center all the way up to a certain level, you'll really be able to get all of these level 1 buildings way up there to like 5, 6, 7, 8, or even further with very little to no time at all by just getting helps. Consider those options as the buildings that you should consider as a secondary priority. And of course, if you have any better suggestions for any newer players, let me know in the comments down below and let them know how you did your buildings and what are your recommendations as well as why. I'm Gekko, I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Don't forget to drop a like on it before you head out of here. Thank you for all your continued support, and I'll see you sooner rather than later. Take care. Peace.